Happy Thursday, Facebook. My daughter's saying, what? She thinks I'm talking to her. She's in another room. I'm doing a video, baby. So I thought I might grab some attention with that title about vaccinations. Vaccinations. Hot topic. A lot of people are talking about vaccinations. A lot of people are thinking about vaccinations because it's in the news. There are pockets where there's been outbreaks of previously thought to be eradicated diseases. Hey, Tracy, Amber, and Victoria, and Lisa. So this is in the news, and a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, what to do? And the reason I said it's not what you might think, hey Heather, is because I'm not going to tell you what to do. So if you came on here for me to tell you what to do, you are going to be disappointed. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But what I do want to help you understand from my perspective, and I always talk about my perspective because I came from a background of Western medicine. Hey, Arlene. And so I came from a background that was very clinical, by the book. Of course, you get all 29 doses by the time you're 6 years old, of course, every kid. And so that's what I came from. Personally, if you are curious about my daughter, she's had all her shots. Sounds like a pet, right? She's had her shots. But I will say that before, when Wesley was of the age to have her vaccinations, I was a lot less educated. Funny that I would say that, right? Because I had at that point gone through my full master's degree preparation to be a family nurse practitioner. So I had a lot of education, but I hadn't been fully educated in a well-rounded way. So what I would like to tell you today is that what's better than advice? What is better than any advice I could ever give you? It's education. Okay, some things like these topics can get very emotional. And what we need to do is I love this quote from Stephen Covey, seek first to understand and then seek to be understood. So when I see these, I've had a lot of people lately ask me what to do. What is my advice about vaccinations? It's over the years, many people have asked me, but lately, a lot of people are asking me, right? You want to, in some of these conversations, you have a high emotions, and on both sides, whether this is someone who they personally feel that as a result of their child being vaccinated, there has been some neurological damage, there has been some long-term lasting negative effects, or maybe you have someone on the other side who feels that because someone else's child was not vaccinated, their family member or someone they know was infected with one of these diseases or infections and had a negative, sometimes irreversible result, damage from that, okay? So can you understand how someone on either side of that would be very emotional about this topic? And then you have people come in on both sides again. You have the arrogant physicians who belittle and who degrade some of these mothers who they call anti-vaxxers and who make them feel that like they're stupid because they are really worried about their children and worried about the possibility of a negative impact on their child. And then you have, on the other hand, I hate to say it, but some extremely hostile, aggressive moms who are not open to any reason and who are aggressively coming at these doctors and saying, this is what it's going to be. neither one of those viewpoints are going to get us anywhere. They are a very hardened viewpoint. Have you ever been in a discussion, say like with your significant other, and you're sure you're right, right? They are equally as sure that they're correct. And you going at it and you're just like, you're telling them all the reasons that you're right. And they're going right back and telling you all the reasons that they're right. Does it work for you to just go harder and harder on all of your argument? Or does that person just dig their heels in even more? Isn't that what normally happens? And so that's where that quote, seek first to understand and then to be understood, comes in. So it's kind of a two-sided topic, that dealing with conversations around vaccinations, these are going to come up. It's just kind of like a lot of these other conversations that happen on Facebook and outside of social media. On a hot topic, people get really emotional, okay? And so we need to seek first to understand and then to be understood. Secondly, we need to be educated. The worst thing you can have is somebody who's not educated and who's passionate about a topic, who's all about it and they don't know what they're talking about. It doesn't turn out very well for those people, right? So the first thing we need to understand is that both sides of this topic have very valid points, okay? There are definitely, it's been proven scientifically that there can be neurologic damage from some of these vaccines. Some of them contain some pretty harmful ingredients. Thimerosal, which is an organic mercury compound, is found in some of the vaccinations. There can be things that are questionable for some people because of their beliefs, like human albumin or products of conception, products of aborted fetuses. There are also formaldehyde. I mean, there's things that are in the vaccines that can cause concern to some people. They are not in all of the vaccines, however. Did you know that? So we can't have this all or nothing mentality. We need to be educated, okay? So that's true. There are harmful ingredients in some of these vaccines that you need to be aware of. At the same time, vaccines have done a really good job at really saving a lot of people's lives. There have been hundreds of thousands of lives saved from diseases that used to kill people. There have been millions of people who have avoided getting sick because of vaccines. On the other hand, I think, where was that? $2.7 billion have been awarded between 1989 and 2014 in vaccine injury compensation. So there are very real instances where vaccines have injured kids to the tune of $2.7 billion has been awarded. So if somebody tells you that they are completely harmless and can never harm anyone, that's a lie. And if somebody comes up and tells you that they've done absolutely no good and they're evil, that's a lie. Okay? So we need to be balanced and we need to educate ourselves. We need to be educated. It's up to you what you're going to do with your child. You don't have to do either thing, okay? But you really want to make sure that you're educating yourself. You're not just watching somebody you don't want to get on, watch somebody who's really passionate and does not know what they're talking about, get all excited, go out and just do whatever that person says. No, you need to be educated. There are people that would argue that natural immunity is far superior to there's no two ways about it. Vaccines are unnatural. It's not a natural way to build up immunity. It is actually a toxic way to build up immunity. So if somebody tells you this is a natural thing, that's not true either. It's still up to you to decide what you're going to allow to be placed into you or your child's body. But there's a way to go about it. And what I would recommend that you do is do your research and really become knowledgeable. There are different ways that you can administer vaccines. There are different compounds that you can request to be used in the vaccines. So there are different schedules that the vaccines can be administered, if they will be administered at all. That's up to you as a parent, but you don't want to go into this not being educated. You need to know what you're talking about. And if there's anything that is worth learning about, it's learning about you and your kids and your health. This is what I've been on this mission for the past 5 years, is really helping people to be educated about their health. At least be educated about the basics. At least know. Do not be a victim and show up at the doctor's office and say, here I am, fix me. Do whatever it takes to me. I don't know, I'm just here. You just do what you got to do. That is a very disempowered role that we as Americans have slipped into, and we can come right out of that role and empower ourselves. There has never been a time when education is more readily available. It's already been chunked up for you. You can easily click, find a reputable source, and dig in and learn what you need to know. And that's what I would highly recommend you do. But while you do this, guys, be kind. Be kind to other people. You don't know who you might be talking to. If you go out and just spout off your views, I've had a lot of people tell me, maybe not everyone, my husband may not agree, but I've had people tell me, Jessica, you get along with everybody. You're friends with everybody. There's a reason for that, because when we have to decide that we have these hardened positions, we need to start to understand, what is the purpose? What are you gaining by having a hardened, stiff position on everything? This is how I feel about this. This is the way it's got to be. Is it possible that you could look at the other person's side with understanding, and not in an arrogant way, but really just listen and see, why does this person feel this way? Maybe their child has neurological damage from a vaccine. So then you come in and decide that you're going to say, these stupid anti-vaxxers. Why would you do that? You need to think first and seek to first understand that person before you even say a word. Conversely, going in and saying, these doctors, they want to stick all these kids with all these vaccines. It's all about money. Most physicians go to school to help people. They go to school because they want to make a difference. They don't go to school. Do you know that most physicians are not rolling in the dough? Okay, most YouTube entrepreneurs are making 10 times more than a physician. Physicians are scraping to get by. They want to help people. And a lot of times they aren't as educated on some of the other topics outside of what they're taught in medical school, but they do want to help. So if you, as maybe an anti-vax leaning mom, go in and ream the doctor, what have you really gained? But if you go in with education and you seek to understand the doctor's perspective and maybe meet halfway and decide what you can do that's healthy for your child, but at the same time you maintain and you have a relationship with that doctor, then maybe both of you can grow and understand each other in a very healthy way. So that's my take on the whole vaccinations. I know a lot of you maybe would like me to give you advice, but really my advice to you, and Wesley I'm sure would agree, is that we want to really come at this whole thing with love and understanding, understand what other people are going through, educate yourself, and see what happens from there. I'd love to hear some of your comments below on what you thought of this, and if you think it could help anybody, again, feel free to share it. Have a great day, you guys.